It all began back in September. 36 teams embarked on a journey with the same dream and goal in mind, to win the biggest and most prestigious trophy in European football. And now it's March, 6 months later, and unfortunately, 28 dreams have been shattered. But fortunately, 8 dreams remain alive. These are the UCL quarterfinals. And one of these 8 teams is going to go to the Allianz Arena in Munich on May 31st and lift that trophy with the big ass ears on it and be crowned the best of the best in European football. If that doesn't hype you up, then I don't know what will. Are Arsenal or PSG finally going to win their first UCL in their history and finally stop being looked at as laughingstocks in Europe? Is Aston Villa going to win number 2, their second UCL ever? And is Unai Emery going to add a Champions League to his already decorated European trophy cabinet? Is Real Madrid going to win number 16 and win back-to-back? And is Kylian Mbappe finally going to win that trophy? He's never won the UCL. Is Bayern Munich going to win the UCL in their home stadium the same way they couldn't do it back in 2012 against Chelsea? And is Vincent Kompany, who's been doubted all year, going to prove all the haters, including me, wrong? Is Inzaghi going to redeem himself after losing that final in Istanbul in 2023 to Man City and come back 2 years later and actually win the whole thing? Are Borussia Dortmund going to win their first UCL since '97 and make back-to-back finals and actually win it this time? Because obviously they lost last year to Real Madrid. And is Barcelona going to win in their first season with Hansi Flick the UCL and win their first UCL in the past 10 years? I mean, that's what we're playing for in these quarterfinals. That's what we're playing for right now, man. So get excited. Let's react to this draw, man, because I'm so hyped. The UCL is the best thing ever. I love the UCL. It sucks that we have to wait a month for these matchups, but you know what? It's going to make it all much better. The anticipation is going to make it better. It's like that scene from Borat when he talks about like the sister in the cage and he's like, you will never get this, you will never get this, la la la, and then he finally got it. It's like that scene. It's going to be the same way, but just way less sexual. But yeah, man, the anticipation, it sucks. Like, waiting sucks, but it's going to make it, when we actually get these matchups, it's going to be amazing. I love the Champions League so much. The 2 years that Barca were in the Europa League, I was so sad, man. I hate the Europa League anthem. It's so shit. The Champions League, it's where it's at. And I'm so happy that Barca are back to being part of this group of teams in the, oh my god, man. But anyway, this is not about Barca. We'll get to Barca later on. Let's react to this draw because there's a lot of things I have to say. Let's start off at the bottom left with PSG against Aston Villa. As you guys know, if you've watched my channel for a long time, I'm not a huge fan of PSG. I'm very vocal about that. I don't respect them as an institution or a club, and I think their fans, to be totally candid, are the worst in sports. They're terrible. And I've picked against PSG throughout this whole UCL campaign, okay? I picked against them in the league phase when the schedule first came out. It was a tough schedule, and they got through it and proved me wrong. I picked against them when they got paired up against Liverpool in the round of 16. I thought Liverpool, up to that point, were the best team in Europe, and I thought PSG, they were not going to beat them. And they went into Anfield and knocked them out on penalties, against all odds. So you would think conventional wisdom would tell you that an intelligent person would realize their mistakes and not pick against PSG again. You know, I'm not going to. They wouldn't be stubborn and pick against that team that's proved them wrong throughout the whole season. But again, I'm not intelligent, so I'm picking against PSG once again. I'm going to be stubborn and stick with it. I don't care how hot the kettle is or the pot is or the stove is. I'm going to keep touching it until I burn my hand. I'm not picking PSG ever, okay? I try to be as unbiased as possible on this channel and not let my hatred for a team cloud my judgment or my analysis. It's not going to happen with PSG ever. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen with PSG. Even if PSG win the whole thing, I would not acknowledge that they won the UCL. I just won't acknowledge it. I won't make a video about it. I won't talk about it at all. PSG are a joke of a club. I'm not picking them ever. I'm picking Aston Villa, Unai Emery to get the upset. Morgan Rogers, Marco Asensio, Marcus Rashford, Ollie Watkins, Dibu Martinez, Yuri Tillmans. They're going to go and win in the second leg in Paris. Second leg is in Paris this time, which is going to be tough, but I believe they can do it. Unai Emery has done more with less. He's a better manager than Luis Enrique, in my opinion. Does PSG have the better squad? Yes. On form, are they the better team currently? Yes. Are they the favorites? Yes. I don't care about any of that because, again, I'm not very smart, and I'm stubborn, and I'm picking Aston Villa. And I believe Aston Villa is going to win this tie. Now, this could go one of two ways. Either Aston Villa get absolutely spanked like 8-0 on aggregate, like PSG did to Brest, where they beat them like 10-0, or it's like a 2-1 or a 3-2. I don't think it's going to be like Aston Villa absolutely blow out PSG, but again, I'll take my chances. I think Aston Villa are going to win this. PSG beat Liverpool, who are a better team than Aston Villa. I don't care. Unai Emery is a guy who can pull this off. Like I said, he's done more with less. I'm picking Villa to beat PSG. Come at me. I don't give a fuck. Or come on me. Whichever one you prefer. I would rather you come at me than come on me. But actually, don't do either of them. Don't do anything with me. I'm picking Aston Villa to beat PSG. Okay? Moving on to, let's talk about Inter versus Bayern Munich. The most evenly, this was really even. This to me, like the best, not the best one, but like, I'm really excited for this one. Bayern Munich versus Inter, two teams that are really, really good. I've doubted Bayern Munich throughout the whole UCL campaign as well. Obviously, I don't think Vincent Kompany is a great coach, and I picked against them when they got paired up against Leverkusen, and they destroyed Leverkusen. It wasn't even close to 2 ties. They were the much better team. Vincent Kompany totally outclassed Xabi Alonso in every aspect, which I did not think was possible because I think Xabi Alonso is one of the best managers in Europe, and I don't think Vincent Kompany is that. But he did, and he proved me wrong. And I think that Bayern Munich have a lot of momentum right now. They're playing some good football, you know what I mean? I think Harry Kane is finding his form. He's been amazing this season. He's back to scoring. I mean, he scored in both legs of that tie. He's been really, really good. Alphonso Davies has been great in this UCL campaign. You got Jamal Musiala, who's actually showing up for Bayern Munich in these knockout games, which he hasn't historically. Manuel Neuer is playing some good football right now. The back line of Upamecano and Kim Min-jae is beautiful. I mean, the way they're playing right now is great. Obviously, you have the likes of Kingsley Coman, who's been really, really good. I mean, Bayern, Joshua Kimmich, Goretzka, Paulinho, who's been great. They have a good team. Okay, Bayern Munich have a really good team. And Inter, on the other hand, man, they obviously got past Feyenoord, okay? I'm saying it right this time, Feyenoord, which are not the toughest opposition, and they were Feyenoord were very injured in this tie. But I think Inter have been so great throughout this whole UCL campaign. Obviously, there's the reason they finished in the top 8. And I love Inzaghi as a coach, and I love that team. They're so deep and have so many, but they have just a collective unit that can just plays some great football. So this to me is the toughest one to pick. Honestly, it's the one that I've had the most trouble picking. I'm gonna pick Inter. Okay, even though the second leg is in Germany, that's going to be tough for Inter to go in there and get a result. But I'm going to pick Inter. I believe that Inzaghi, I'm going to pick against Vincent Kompany again. I believe Inzaghi is the better coach, and I believe that Lautaro Martinez and Thuram and that squad as a whole can get the job done. Because again, I think Bayern Munich, maybe they came up against a phony Bayer Leverkusen team. Maybe Bayer Leverkusen are not as good as we thought they are. And especially this season, they're not that good. So maybe that was just a blip for Bayern Munich, and I believe that, you know, Inter are actually going to beat them this time. Again, I picked against PSG and they proved me wrong. I picked against Bayern and they proved me wrong. I'm not learning from my mistakes. I'm picking the other team once again. I'm picking Inter to beat Bayern Munich. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if Bayern Munich win. And Bayern Munich, really, I don't think they give a fuck about this, honestly. They don't care at all. Which, it sounds, like, what all about this is going to sound so stupid. Bayern Munich have earned my respect. Wow. I'm like, that's amazing. Put it on Twitter, Bayern Munich. Put this guy, random YouTuber has given us this respect. But yeah, they obviously don't give a fuck about my respect. But my point is, you know, I doubted them, but they obviously proved me wrong. But I'm still going to pick Inter because I believe overall they're the better coach team. And I think, honestly, on paper, you could argue they're very evenly matched. So I'm going to pick Inter to win this tie. Next up, we have Arsenal, Real Madrid. I'm going to pick Real Madrid. I'm not really going to go too in-depth about this because I just think Real Madrid are the better team. Now, Saliba and Gabriel can present a lot of issues for Mbappe and Vinicius. But Mbappe and Vinicius, to me, what's scary is that they didn't show up against Atletico Madrid. So they're probably like itching to actually come up to actually play well in the knockout rounds. And we know, especially with Vini, he's not a guy that usually ghosts a lot in the UCL knockout rounds. This past tie against Atletico Madrid was the anomaly for Vinicius Jr. He's usually one of the best players, if not the best player on the pitch when it comes to Real Madrid in the knockout rounds of the UCL. And he's been that historically throughout his career. So obviously Vini's not been the best this calendar year. Not this calendar year, sorry, in 2020. Yeah, this calendar year, 2025, he's not been great. And honestly, since he lost the Ballon d'Or to Rodri, he hasn't been great overall. But again, I think that I don't think that matters because I think Vini is actually going to play well in this tie. I think he's going to come through, and I think Mbappe is going to do the same. And I just don't trust Arsenal. Now, Saka will probably be back for this tie when these games take place, but still, I don't think that's enough. I think Arsenal is great, but I think Saka is great, sorry, but I don't think Mikel Arteta is going to go into the Bernabeu and get a result in that second leg. The second leg for these teams, for Real Madrid is in the Bernabeu. Because UEFA did this stupid thing where the top 8 teams, they don't get the second leg at home. They're giving it to the teams that didn't finish in the top 8. So what the fuck is the point of finishing in the top 8? You should get incentivized to finish in the top 8 throughout the whole tournament. Isn't that the whole point of finishing in the top 8? It shouldn't just be you don't have to play a playoff round. It should be that throughout the whole tournament, you get the second leg at home if you finish in the top 8. But anyway, that's stupid. That's a rant for another day. But yeah, for me, I just don't trust Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. I'm going to pick Real Madrid. Again, they beat PSV. Good for them. PSV were probably the worst team in the quarterfinals. Feyenoord was close, but PSV were the worst team in the quarterfinals. So, or in the round of 16, sorry, not the quarterfinals. So yeah, I'm not impressed by what Arsenal did. I'm going to pick Real Madrid. And yeah, I think Real Madrid and Aston Villa are going to make it to the semifinals on that side of the bracket. And then finally, we have my team, of course, saving the best for last. Barcelona versus Borussia Dortmund. We meet again. Barca obviously beat them in the group phase 3-2 in a very, very good game. Ferran Torres came off the bench and scored a brace. Rafinha scored a goal in that game as well. Look, it was a tough game. It was a tough game for Barca, but that was also when Barca were going through basically their toughest stretch of the season. I think this team now is better. They're more secure in their identity, even though that sounds crazy because Barca have been great the whole season. But I think at that time, you know, Araujo was coming back from injury. Sorry, Frankie De Jong was kind of easing his way into the team. This team is just I think this Barca team now it's perfect the way it is. And I think that, they finally, they're getting into that group once again. They're winning. They haven't lost a single game in 2025. I think this Barcelona team is the best team in Europe. And I think when I saw Dortmund against Leo, I wasn't impressed by either team. And I'm just not impressed by Borussia Dortmund. I think they have obviously some good players, but I think overall Barcelona are just the better team and they're going to get the win. I think Barcelona go into Dortmund in the second leg and get the win. I think the second leg is going to be a formality, honestly. I think Barca are going to get such a comfortable result on Montjuic in the first leg that the second leg will be a formality for Barca. And I think Barca go through to the UCL semifinals to face Inter, and that will be Barca's first UCL final since 2019. It's been a long time since Barca made it that far into the competition, but if any year they can do it, it's this one. And that will leave us, if my predictions are true, with an Aston Villa Real Madrid semifinal and then a Barcelona Inter semifinal. That would be must-see TV. But yeah, man, those are my early predictions and my early thoughts for the quarterfinals. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Who are you predicting to win? What matchup are you most excited to see? Let me know all your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, man, I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.